What up, YouTube LAX? Come back at you with another custom StarCraft 2 cast. Today, we have another matchup featuring Warcraft 3 versus StarCraft 2. If you're new to my channel, you heard that correctly. This is a Warcraft 3 plus StarCraft 2 mod. This is the Azeroth-Koprulu Hyperwar mod, or rather, an extension of that mod with the intention of providing a bit more of a balanced experience. So we'll see how that goes. It's going to be a 2v2. It's Team Warcraft 3 versus Team StarCraft 2. So let's go ahead and introduce our players. Spawning on the top left-hand side of the map, it's Team Warcraft 3, starting off with our green humans player Zarama, with his teammate spawning just to his right. It is our teal Orc player Rosebudio. Rosebudio is actually the person who's developing this version of the mod, and he's also helping out with the Azeroth-Koprulu Hyperwar mod itself. If I'm not mistaken, what is happening? Why are we getting a ping? Zarama, you're freaking me out, man. You're freaking me out, or maybe you're freaking out. Did you notice this this probe? Anyway, looks like Zarama wanted to attack it, but before we get too far ahead of ourselves, let's go ahead and introduce team number 2, Team StarCraft 2. On the bottom right-hand side of the map, it's our yellow Terran player Klaus, or Class. I'm not sure. I kind of like Klaus, but Class also has a ring to it. You know, if you can hear what I'm hearing. with his opponent, with his teammate spawning just to his right, it's our orange Protoss player Anyone. Does look like this scouting probe did get killed by a horde of peasants. That is hilarious. By the way, if you're not familiar with Warcraft 3, and I'm just now getting more familiar with it because it's been some time since I've actually played Warcraft 3, you can make your peasants rally and they become militia, and it makes them fight a little bit better. Same with the orcs to some degree. You have the orc burrow, which is actually placed right in the mineral line, and you have battle stations, so it causes nearby peons to run into the burrow so that they can defend their base. So it's not like they're a militia, it's almost like a bunker. As you can see, it holds 4 peons, right? Yep, peons is what they're called. Anyway, if you're new to my channel, I do cast a lot of custom StarCraft 2, so if custom games are something you're interested in watching more of, please consider subscribing to my channel. We are gaining a lot of momentum. I think this mod is really popular, so if you subscribed, I would greatly appreciate it. Now, back to the show, taking a look at what Team StarCraft 2 is doing. They are doing some pretty standard play, if you can say anything is standard about this version of the game. But we got a wall kind of at the ramp of the 2 natural bases for Team StarCraft 2. Both of these players are expanding. To be fair, I don't know what MMR these guys are at, but we've got the Reaper flying towards the enemy base. He's going to be very confused. This is going to be a very Warhammer situation. We got what is basically like a space marine. Obviously, this is not a marine. The marine is more like a space marine, but you have this futuristic human that is going to find a medieval faction of orcs. And that is absolutely hilarious. We'll see if this Reaper could do any damage. Great control by Rosebudio, not losing a single worker, but unfortunately for our orc player, there's no range at the moment. A lot of these peons running to try and surround this Reaper, but the Reaper is just too good at keeping away from melee units. Won't get any kills, unfortunately, for Klaus, but will survive at the very least, so it's not too bad. Also, one thing that I have to mention, if you guys are new to my channel and haven't seen this mod, is you have hero units for the Warcraft factions, which is absolutely outrageous. I still think that we need some balance. This comes from the Altar of Storms. For the humans, it's the Altar of Kings. This is going to be our Blade Master, and it learned what is mirrored image, which confuses the enemy by creating one illusion of the Blade Master and dispels all magic from the Blade Master. To be fair, there isn't really a lot of like lasting magic in StarCraft 2. There's a few spells, I guess, but really nothing too crazy. But either way, this is going to be insane because the StarCraft 2 factions don't have any sort of hero units. So this is going to be absolutely insane. We'll see. Unfortunately, there's no kill counters on the Warcraft 3 units, but look at how much damage this guy is doing with his 370 HP. Is absolutely disgusting. Also does have the mirror image, which could be used for scouting and also giving high ground vision. By the way, these Marines are running for their lives. They're like, there's an orc, and also Oh my god. Okay, we have a Widow Mine, which Samuro just took to the face and is still at more than half HP. That is outrageous. So, you know, this is still the alpha version of the mod. I would consider this. Like I said, this is an extension of the Azeroth-Koprulu Hyperwar mod, but the main mod is still in alpha, so we got a lot of balancing to do in the future because look at this guy. Unfortunately, no kill counter, but he's done a lot of damage, and in the 2v2 UI, we can't pull up the workers killed. Looks like this grunt also doing quite a bit of damage, just now dying, and this guy still alive somehow. That is so insane. He's almost level 2. These stalkers are like, please, let's do something about this. Decent control by anyone as well, keeping his stalkers alive. 2 shots to the face by a Widow Mine. And Samuro is still alive. To be fair, he's only got 49 HP left. 2 Marines are going to try and take this guy out. Will they be able to is the question. Not quite one-shotting the Marine. Almost one-shotting him, though. Left with 2 HP. He's like, how did this happen? I have armor that can take Hydralisk spines. And I just took a sword to the chest. And I'm almost dead. How does that make sense? Please make that make sense. And I love this. The use of the fog. Keeping Samuro alive. And will be regenerating health in the meantime. As well as energy. How much energy does Mirror Image cost? It costs 125 energy. So I'm just waiting until he can Mirror Image again, which he can. And here he goes. Just as night falls, we have the Mirror Image. Unfortunately, Samuro will die. You can see him float to the heavens. These Widow Mines coming in really clutch. And we also have the Blood Mage, I believe. Oh, and I don't have my unit tab. So yes, here he is, the Blood Mage. Almost dying, actually. This is a lot of stalkers. I love this. But just barely getting away. These raiders doing a decent job at trying to keep that Blood Mage safe. Ultimately will get away with its life. And also the raiders, by the way, the Orc raiders, where are they? They're on their wargs right here. They have an ensnare ability, which is really interesting. So it causes the enemy unit to be bound to the ground for 12 seconds. They can't move, but it also works against air units. So it can pull air units from the sky. We'll see if that is used later on in this game, just in case there's any sort of flying unit like a, I don't know, like a Liberator or a Carrier maybe. Let's take a look at the production tab, actually. So we have what is going to be Blink on the way. I like that. The last few games we saw with Warcraft versus StarCraft, the Protoss player didn't get Blink. And man, I'm telling you, if Blink were used in some of those games, I think they would have been a lot closer than they were. Yeah. Okay, I don't know why my brain broke just for a sec. I was like, that doesn't make sense. Looks like an attempted attack at the back of the mineral line for Zarama's third base, but ultimately will get shut down. And this is looking like a really scary army. Now, the Demolisher, it is a slow-moving unit. As far as I know, it's one of the only actually mechanical units for Warcraft, at least for the Orcs. And the rest of them are biological. This is a lot of raiders, though. We haven't really seen these guys use. I'm going to take away the production tab just because 4 players total. It kind of takes a big chunk of screen real estate for us. I would move these stalkers back. You have two fully charged shield batteries. And just as I said it, anyone is like, okay, man, I'm listening to you. Do we have Blink? Blink is not done yet. A big warping of Zealots, though. The Zealots don't have charge, but they are in range of the cannon support. So this is a lot of DPS for the Protoss player. Anyone actually doing a great job at keeping the Warcraft 3 army at bay. This is all Orcs as far as I'm concerned. This is all Rosebudio. Yes, it is. So great job, anyone, keeping Rosebudio's army at bay. But Zarama coming in with the support with his gunners, or his riflemen, excuse me. So this is looking really scary. I do like the siege tank on the back of this. We have 2 shield batteries. They're both really out of energy, but we do have the battery overcharge just in case things go south. I would kind of want to use it right now, especially with these photon cannons. Oh, a lot of Widow Mines taking out some of these riflemen. A little bit of friendly fire on those Marines as well. And here they are, the Liberators. I think this is a great choice. We don't have Raiders on the field, at least not in this engagement. 2 of the Riflemen go down. I think that was 2, and that maybe was a Raider, but not getting the ensnare on that Liberator. Oh, wait, no, the Liberator isn't snared. Sorry. I'm just not used to seeing a Liberator on the ground. Oh, and it looks like a counterattack from the Protoss player, potentially. This is actually looking not too bad for Team StarCraft 2, but keep in mind, look at the minimap. We have so much economy for both of the Warcraft 3 players, and I feel like comparing it to the StarCraft 2 players, yeah, Orange is doing a decent job at expanding, but Klaus, I really want to see you expand, man. He is floating a lot of minerals, not a lot of gas, though. He's not really mining fully off the gas, and also a little bit oversaturated on the minerals in base number 2. So, just little things, little nitpicks. Obviously, the mods are for fun. They're not necessarily professional games, you know what I mean? Will we see the cancel on this Nexus, though? This is so many Orcs. Will get the cancel. Anyone, great job. Do we have Storm? We don't have Storm just yet. The Liberator supporting this, though. So, Klaus, I gotta say, despite not expanding as I would like to see you expand, you are doing a great job at supporting your teammate, especially in the engagement at base number, what was that? Base number 3, I think. Yeah, right here. So, you know, not bad. How many kills does this Widowmine have? Only 1 kill, but there were 4 Widowmines here. How many kills do these have? Are these all fresh? I think these are all fresh Widowmines, and I love this. The Archons, and this is kind of playing onto what I said earlier. There's a lot of bio units in Warcraft 3, so the Archons are going to have a great time eating up medieval units. Oh, and another attack at what is going to be base number 3 for Klaus. Klaus does get the cancel on this. These raiders are just so fast. You can see the almost lock on these Widowmines. They're like, come on, we gotta eat, man. We gotta eat dinner. But no, unfortunately for them, those raiders will run away. Charge Zealots will be able to close the distance to those riflemen. One thing I would wonder is if an ensnared stalker can blink still. That's something I have to test out. What's happening? Why are we seeing so many pings this game? It's freaking me out, dude. I love this. The Liberators flying over Team StarCraft 2. Sorry, Team StarCraft 2. The Protoss army for the StarCraft 2 team. Oh, and also with the Arcane Vault. So this will allow the Warcraft player, I believe, or wait, is this the Warcraft player? No, I think this is the human player. Will allow them to buy items, and their heroes can use those items. So we'll see. Yep, right here. So the Blood Mage, he's got Purchase Potion of Healing. So cooldown 14 seconds, heals 250 hit points when used, which is insane. That's more than half his HP. He's at level 2 currently, almost level 3. That is wild. And I like this going for the Thor. So a capital ground unit, a tier 3 ground unit for the Terran player. Taking a look at how much money he has, I think part of the issue is he's floating a lot of minerals. He just has not a lot of gas, so he can't really spend it all unless he wants to spend it on something like a Marine. Oh, and I like this Samuro trying to cloak, but these cannons will spot him. How much HP does he have at level 4? 460 total HP at level 4 is crazy. So, an attack with the Blade Master and also an attack at base number 3 by the humans. This is a lot to keep up with. Looks like Samuro is running away. We do get the cancel on base number 3 for the Terran player, but at this point in the game, being stuck on 2 bases in a 2v2 matchup is not ideal. Anyone is really holding the line, though, against the human army. We have some Orcs mixed in as well. Samuro, as you can see on the minimap, is way out of position, and a lot of Storms a little bit stacked, but still doing quite a bit of damage to these riflemen. How many riflemen will go down? That's a few. That's actually not as many as I wanted to see for the sake of the Protoss player. Siege Tank on the ramp will be able to reach, I think, some of these riflemen and take a lot of them out. A lot of them are softened up, but I think the Warcraft 3 team is able to push through the defenses of Team StarCraft 2. The shield battery is depowered. The 2 warp gates are also depowered. The siege tank going down. This Widowmine with the 1 kill. This siege tank running away and getting ensnared by the raider. Oh no, this is insane. Clutch Widowmine hits though. Clutch Widowmine hits for sure. Samuro, level 5, is still alive. Will go down. Come on, he's got to go down. Okay, will go down, I think, at the hands of the Thor or at the hands of the Marines, or at the guns of the Marines, I should say. Oh, no, and Samuro is actually back. Wait a minute. Oh, what? I thought he died. Oh, my God, dude. There's so much chaos. There is so much chaos. The Warcraft 3 team pushed through the defenses. Let's take a look at the units. Still 64 workers for Protoss, but only 7 Zealots. How many workers for Terran? 42 workers, 1 Siege Tank, and 5 Marines, and 9 Widow Mines. Not bad, but I mean, look at Team Warcraft 3. They just got all sorts of stuff, man. That is insane. To be fair, though, where balance is concerned, I think Team StarCraft 2 was just a little bit outplayed. To be fair, Rosebudio is one of the devs for the Azeroth-Koprulu Hyperwar mod, or at least this version of it. Rosebudio, I know you're going to see this. Let me know if you're also working on the main mod itself, because I don't actually know. Oh, what is this? Oh, I didn't have a chance to look at that spell, but I think that must have been, that was obviously a Warcraft spell. I don't know what spell that was. Oh, this is a bloodbath. And, you know, my cope is that Warcraft 3 are magic-based races, right? So you have, like, extremely advanced technology going up against straight-up magic to some degree. Obviously, we're seeing spears getting thrown at Archons. It's fine. I'm totally fine. Anyone throwing out the GG, leaving the game. Rosebudio returning the GG. Klaus throwing the GG as well, giving the victory to Team Warcraft 3. What an interesting mod. Obviously, balance is still a concern, but this is alpha. It's a work in progress, and this was a fun game to watch. If you enjoyed what you saw, please consider shooting me a like and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. And if you want me to cast any of your own games, I will leave my email and Discord in the description below. And I'll see you guys on the next one.